Well, if you want to have a complete comprehensive nutritional package, you can't fit everything that you need in one pill. There's just not enough room. So you have to put it in several capsules, and capsules are better than tablets because the capsules, you can swallow them and it gets absorbed. If you take a tablet, you can compress everything into one tablet, but then it's not going to get absorbed. It'll come out of you the same way it went in.
It has all the products that you need. It has vitamins, your minerals, your fish oils, your antioxidants. One pill is not going to do it all. They try to reduce it as much as they possibly can. And I always tell patients, if you want, you can space it out during the day, or you can take them all with your major meal.
These are food products. These are 10 to 12 servings of fruits and vegetables, and you take them, and you got to take them some way. If you want, you can put it in a spoon and take it, but that powder wouldn't go down well. So you put them in these capsules, and that allows you to swallow them. And what I do is, I value the nutrition that I get from it. So I take them in my hand, 5 or 7 at a time, put them in my mouth with some warm water, and I teach people how to swallow it, and it makes it easier. I start with one in their mouth, some warm water, tuck your chin, swallow it. Most people will take a pill and they'll go like this, and that's the easiest way to choke on something. Right? Remember in medical school we would intubate someone by putting their head down and you have a straight and narrow, straight to their lungs. So chin tuck, and when people do that they go, wow, no one ever taught me how to swallow pills.
The ability to measure has changed everything. The use of the instrument, the biophotonic scanner, can now delineate whether what you're doing is getting the job done. Whether it's your own nutritional plan, whether whatever fruits and vegetable servings you're eating, whether you're supplementing or not supplementing. We can now assess, get a baseline score, make a recommendation, and upon our recommendation, guarantee in 60 days that we're going to see a change in your nutritional health.
Dave, one of the things, we would never treat diabetes without measuring the glucose. We would never treat bone densities, osteoporosis without measuring bone density. We wouldn't treat your blood pressure unless we knew what the number was. Why is it so different? We need to treat nutrition and know what the level is. So if we measure it, then we can tell whether what you're doing is working.
We also have a creed that's always been do no harm, but more importantly, do some good. And we now have the ability to have a product that we know that is formulated correctly, that has no preservatives, that has all the good and none of the bad. And I can stand by it with great faith.
I had someone once say, I want to take my own supplement. I said, fine, you take it, come back in 60 days and we'll measure you. And if it doesn't work, I'll recommend something that's better. Expensive compared to what? Expensive compared to diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. If you take all the components of these supplements and try to reproduce it, it'll be 2 to 3 times what the box costs you. Second thing is, what you're getting in other supplements that are inexpensive are inexpensive supplements that don't get where they need to go.
What's more expensive to me is taking a product that doesn't work, that doesn't get you to where you need to be in terms of servings of fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. The other important information is we have a guarantee that taking these products upon our recommendations, you're going to see improvement or you're going to be reimbursed for your expenses.
And the nutritional products that we have range from $1 a day to $5 a day. There's always something within someone's budget. So I never let money be an objection.
And I think that's a very important word that I'll talk to patients about. You budget for rent, you budget for electricity, you budget for just about everything. Is your health important? Don't prejudge your patient and what's in their budget for nutritional health.
Or for anything. When I first saw someone spend $5 for a water, I realized that people will value things and they'll spend money for it. And I can't judge what's important to people. All I can do is give my opinion and steer them in the right direction. When you're taking supplements, it takes a good 2 months to start reaching a steady state, which means it's pretty much gotten to where your tissues are saturated. And after 6 months, it's pretty much leveled off, but kind of like exercise. if you want to stay fit, exercise every day. You know, how often should you eat? So how often should you take supplements? As often as you want to stay healthy. Probably twice a day, because a lot of the supplements are water soluble. That's why we recommend taking it twice a day. Because if you only take it once a day, half the day you don't have it in your body. In our practice, if we don't generate a profit, we don't stay in business. Every judgment I make is dependent on one and only one thing: what's in the patient's best interest. When I make a recommendation for a prescription, whether I make a profit on it or not, I'm doing what's best for the patient. I don't make profits on any prescriptions, yet I try to do what's best for the patient, cost effective. The supplements, yes, I make a 5% override on everything that gets sold. But that's not the reason that I'm doing this. What I find is that many of my colleagues who get concerned about making money on their patients off of products, they should be questioning whether or not they're doing what's in the patient's best interest, because if they're making a judgment based on profit, they shouldn't be a doctor. Every decision has to be what's in the patient's best interest.
I do make a small profit on everything that we order through here, but I feel very comfortable about it because of the ability to measure and the ability to get my patients healthier. You take what I take, you pay the same amount that I pay, and I'm very comfortable about that. The Biophotonic scanner was developed totally separate from the company that I'm involved with. It was an instrumentation that was developed by the National Institute of Health at the University of Utah Moran Eye Center in the early 90s. It was scientifically used to measure risk factors for macular degeneration. And over the last 10 years, they were able to take that technology, miniaturize it, and about 6 years ago, we got the medical rights to put it in doctors' offices. And it is a technology called Raman spectroscopy. You can Google it. It's won a Nobel Prize for its technology, and it is evidence-based.
Well, the science behind the scanner is what I had to do my due diligence on. So at the University of Utah, they did research on macular degeneration. They had many scientific affiliates, institutions all over the world doing research with this machine, and the papers that I reviewed showed me how accurate it was. There's been millions of people that have put their hand in front of that scanner, and the data speaks for itself.
We recommend that these products be taken twice a day with foods. I tell my patients take it either with breakfast or lunch and with dinner. And most people are eating at least 2 meals a day.
One of the things I do is I take the 2 packets, I put one in my right pocket, one in my left pocket. At breakfast time, I take this one. At supper time, I take this one. And if during the day I know that there's one left over, that means I didn't take it, and I take it at lunch. One of the things that Pharmanex did with the supplements, the fish oils, is they coated them, and there's like a little tinge of vanilla flavor, which is pretty sweet. Also, the processing prevents you to have that fishy smell, and it gets absorbed in your stomach. And then one of the things I do if people do get sensitive to it is I have them take it with food. And when they take it with food, or if they put it in the refrigerator, it's much less likely to happen.
We're talking about effectively getting 10 to 12 servings of fruit and vegetables with one packet of the LifePak Nano. It should not interfere with any other medicines. The only thing that I would be concerned about, if you're taking LifePak Nano, we want to make sure that you don't have any allergies to shellfish.
Yeah, the interactions will be the same as having 10 to 12 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. So there aren't.
In an ideal world, that would be true. And there are some areas in the world where you can get it. But we know, for the last 50 years at least, that our fruit and servings of fruit and vegetables are not equivalent to what they were 50 years ago, at least in this country, because of the effect of the soil's depletion of nutrients. So we now can measure whether what you're doing on a daily basis nutritionally is sound and whether you need a supplement.
Yeah, the other reason is people's lifestyles don't permit it. I mean, people are in a rush, they're not stopping to eat what they need to eat and prepare things ahead, so they're going to fast food and they're just not getting the nutrients in those foods.